be making a somewhat healthy version of macaroni and cheese, and it's going to be made with whole grains macaroni pasta and with low-fat butter and fat-free cheese. So we'll see how it turns out. I hope it will be as delicious as regular macaroni and cheese. Let's get started! For today's ingredient, we're going to be using 100% whole grain elbow macaroni, skim milk, Parmesan cheese, breadcrumbs, cayenne pepper, Fat Free Cheddar Cheese, or you could use 2% cheddar cheese, and light butter. The first thing I'm going to do is to boil a pot of water to cook the macaroni. When the water boils, I add some salt in here, and then the macaronis. Stir it. I'll let it cook for 7 minutes. While the macaroni is cooking in the water, the next thing we're going to do is to make the roots. I'm going to turn the heat into medium, put in the butter. I'm using a wok because I couldn't find my skillet, but if you have a skillet, use a skillet. It'll be a lot more easier. First, we're going to melt the butter. Make sure the heat is not too high, so after the butter is melted, we're going to add some all-purpose flour. Add a little bit at a time. After the flour and butter are mixed, we're going to add in the skim milk. Just a little bit at a time. After it's mixed, we're going to let it come to a small boil. When it starts to come to a boil, lower the heat and just keep stirring so the sauce won't burn. You notice that the sauces start to become thick. At this point, I'm going to add the cheese. After the cheese is melted, we're going to turn the heat off. And this will be the sauce that we're using for the macaronis. After the cheese sauce is ready, we're going to add in the cooked macaronis. We're going to stir it. After it's completely combined, we're gonna put this in the baking pan. Align the baking pan with aluminum foil so it'll be a lot more easier to clean later. We add the macaroni and cheese in there. Spread out evenly. After this, we're going to set this aside and make the toppings. I'm going to be making a breadcrumb topping, and for the breadcrumb topping, I'm going to add some butter to the skillet. Just melt it. Melt this on a medium-low heat so the butter won't burn. After the butter is melted, we're going to add the breadcrumbs in there. And stir. After stirred up, we're going to just cook it a little to let it brown a little. This should be okay. We'll turn the heat off and we're going to pour this over the macaroni and cheese. I'll spread it evenly on top of the macaroni and cheese. And then I also like to add the Parmesan cheese on top of this. Just sprinkle a good layer of it. Cayenne pepper. Just a little bit. Like that. Okay, we don't want to put too much of it. After this, we're going to put it in the oven and bake it for 30 minutes on a 350-degree oven. Just came out of the oven. We're going to let it sit for a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and we'll cut it. So here we have the first slice of the macaroni and cheese. And we'll test it and see how it turns out. Ooh! I was about to eat with a knife! I'm going to use a fork. Let's see. Look at that. The toppings are nice and crunchy, and it's cheesy. It's not bad. Consider that it is less than half of the fat of regular macaroni and cheese. And it has a little bit more fiber in it because of the whole wheat. So, yeah. Give it a try at home too. It's pretty good. It's actually delicious.